First contact. The research vessel Horizon drifted silently through the Kuiper Belt, its sensors probing the darkness for signs of valuable minerals. Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck, her dark eyes fixed on the endless expanse of space. 20 years of deep space exploration had taught her that the most significant discoveries often came when least expected. "Dr. Chen, you need to see this." Marcus Walsh's voice crackled through the intercom, his usual calm demeanor replaced by barely contained excitement. Sarah made her way to the science lab, where Marcus hunched over the quantum resonance scanner. His fingers danced across the holographic display, adjusting parameters with practiced precision. "We've picked up something unusual," he said without looking up. "The energy signature doesn't match anything in our database." The scanner's display showed a pulsing point of light, its rhythm unlike anything they'd encountered before. Sarah leaned closer, her scientific curiosity piqued. Location: about 3 kilometers off our starboard bow, embedded in a comet fragment. Captain Maya Rodriguez's voice joined the conversation through the ship's comm system. "Whatever it is, it's affecting our instruments. We're seeing fluctuations in the quantum field that shouldn't be possible out here." Sarah straightened, her mind already racing through possibilities. "Captain, request permission to launch a probe." "Granted. But keep it at a safe distance. I don't want any surprises out here." The probe's deployment was textbook perfect, its cameras and sensors focused on the mysterious object as it approached. As the first images came through, the science team fell silent. Embedded in the ice was a perfectly geometric structure, its surface covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift and change as they watched. "It's artificial," Marcus whispered, his voice filled with awe. "We're looking at alien technology." Before Sarah could respond, the object began to pulse with increasing intensity. The probe's sensors went haywire, and suddenly, a beam of energy shot from the artifact, enveloping the horizon in a soft purple glow. The ship's systems flickered, and a new presence made itself known through their communication channels. The voice was unlike anything human ears had ever heard, yet somehow perfectly understandable. "We are the Nixians. You have activated our beacon of last resort. Our civilization faces extinction, and we have waited millennia for a species capable of understanding our technology. Humanity has proven itself worthy by decoding our quantum signature. We require your assistance, and in return, we offer knowledge beyond your imagining." Sarah exchanged glances with Marcus and Captain Rodriguez, who had joined them in the lab. This was the moment every explorer dreamed of, but it carried a weight none of them had expected. Humanity's first contact wouldn't be a simple exchange of greetings. It would be a plea for help from a dying civilization. Captain Rodriguez stepped forward, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. "This is Captain Maya Rodriguez of the Earth research vessel Horizon. We're listening." The response came immediately, accompanied by a stream of data that filled their screens. "Our consciousness exists within the quantum realm. We seeded the galaxy with beacons, hoping to find a species with the unique neural patterns capable of interfacing with our technology. Your kind possesses this ability. Without your help, our entire civilization will fade into quantum decay within one orbital cycle of your sun." Sarah studied the data flooding their systems. The complexity was staggering, yet somehow familiar, like a language she had always known but never spoken. "The patterns," she murmured, "they're similar to human brainwave frequencies." Marcus nodded, his eyes wide. "But operating at a quantum level. They're not just asking for help. They're asking us to be a bridge between physical reality and quantum consciousness." The implications were enormous. Humanity had barely begun to understand quantum mechanics, yet here was a civilization that had mastered it to the point of transcendence. The help they needed wasn't just technological, it was fundamentally human. Captain Rodriguez straightened her uniform, a gesture Sarah had come to recognize as her preparing to make a momentous decision. "We'll need to contact Earth Command. This goes beyond our mission parameters. Time is critical," the Nixian voice interjected. "We have much to share, but little time to share it. Your species' unique neural architecture is our only hope for survival. Sarah felt the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. This wasn't just first contact, it was first responsibility. Humanity was being asked to save an ancient civilization, not through force or technology, but through the very qualities that made them human. As the Horizon's crew began the complex process of documenting their discovery and establishing communications with Earth, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. The Nixians were offering humanity a chance to prove itself on a cosmic scale, but every gift came with a price. She only hoped they were ready for what that price might be. The price of trust. 3 weeks had passed since first contact, and the Horizon had become a hub of feverish activity. Earth's top scientists had been shuttled to the vessel, transforming its modest research facilities into a cutting-edge quantum laboratory. Sarah hadn't slept more than 4 hours a night, but the dark circles under her eyes were a small price to pay for what she was learning. "The quantum interface is stable," she announced, monitoring the complex array of equipment surrounding the Nixian artifact. "Neural synchronization at 60% and climbing." Dr. James Kumar, Earth's leading quantum physicist, nodded approvingly. The Nixians were right. Human brainwave patterns can indeed serve as a bridge between normal space and quantum consciousness, but there's something they're not telling us. Sarah had been having the same nagging feeling. The Nixians had shared incredible technological insights, but their explanations always seemed to stop just short of complete understanding. "What are you thinking?" "Look at these patterns." James pointed to a display showing neural activity during human-Nixian interactions. "There's a feedback loop we can't account for. Every time we make contact, something else is happening beneath the surface." Captain Rodriguez entered the lab, accompanied by Admiral Chen from Earth Command. The Admiral's presence had become more frequent as the project progressed, and his expression today was particularly grave. "Dr. Chen, Dr. Kumar," the Admiral addressed them. "We've detected something troubling. During the last quantum interface session, our deep space arrays picked up a signal. Something was transmitted from the artifact to a location well beyond our solar system." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. The Nixians said they seeded the galaxy with beacons. Could it have been communication with another beacon? "That's what we need to find out," Captain Rodriguez said. "We can't risk Earth's security, even for the sake of saving another civilization." As if in response to their concerns, the artifact pulsed, and the now familiar Nixian presence filled their communications. "We sense your doubt. It is natural to fear what you do not fully understand. But time grows short. We must begin the full neural integration soon, or all will be lost." "Neural integration?" Sarah questioned. "You never mentioned this before. What exactly does that entail?" The response came with an undertone they hadn't heard before. Was it desperation? "Our consciousness must be temporarily housed within human neural networks, while we transfer our quantum matrix to a new stable configuration. The process is complex but necessary for our survival." Admiral Chen stepped forward. "And what are the risks to our people?" "Minimal," the Nixian voice assured them. "The human mind is remarkably adaptable. We have waited millennia for beings with your specific neural architecture." James Kumar shook his head. "That's not a complete answer. What happens during this integration? What's the actual process?" The slight delay before the Nixian response was telling. "We cannot fully explain the process in terms your science would understand. You must trust that we mean you no harm." Sarah exchanged glances with James. Trust was a delicate thing, especially when dealing with a civilization so advanced they couldn't, or wouldn't, explain their true intentions. Captain Rodriguez's voice cut through the tension. "We'll need time to consider this request." "Admiral." "Agreed. All experiments are suspended until we can properly assess the risks." The Nixian presence withdrew, but not before Sarah caught a glimpse of something in their quantum signatures, a pattern she hadn't noticed before. She began reviewing the data from previous interactions, and what she found made her blood run cold. "Captain," she called out as the others were leaving. "I think I know what that transmission was about. The neural patterns during our interactions. They're not just communications. They're being mapped, copied." James rushed to her station, his eyes widening as he analyzed the data. "She's right. The Nixians haven't just been teaching us. They've been learning everything about how our minds work." "But why?" Sarah thought back to their first contact. "They said we were worthy because we could decode their quantum signature. What if that wasn't the whole truth? What if they chose us because we have something they need? Something more than just compatible neural patterns?" The implications hung heavy in the air. Humanity's first contact with an advanced civilization had offered the promise of unprecedented knowledge and achievement. But as they stood on the brink of deeper involvement, a troubling question emerged. Were they saviors of a dying species, or unwitting participants in something far more complex and potentially dangerous? Quantum storm. The warning came without preamble. Every screen on the horizon lit up with cascading data as the Nixian artifact pulsed with unprecedented energy. Catastrophic quantum cascade approaching. The Nixian presence announced, their usually measured tones carrying an edge of genuine fear. "Your solar system has entered a region of space-time instability." Sarah's fingers flew across her console, translating the incoming data. "They're right," she called out, her voice tense. "Some kind of quantum wave is heading straight for us. If these readings are correct, it could tear apart the very fabric of space-time." Captain Rodriguez immediately activated ship-wide communications. "All hands to emergency stations. This is not a drill." The Horizon's crew scrambled to their positions as Admiral Chen coordinated with Earth Command. The quantum wave would reach them in less than 6 hours, and Earth in less than 12. Humanity faced an extinction-level event they barely understood. "The wave will destroy everything in its path," the Nixians explained. "This is why we seeded the galaxy with beacons. We have faced these waves before. They are why we chose to exist primarily in the quantum realm." James Kumar studied the data intently. "These patterns, they're similar to the neural integration process you proposed. Is that how you survived? By shifting your consciousness into quantum space?" "Yes," the Nixians confirmed. "But we cannot survive another transition without help. And now, neither can you." Sarah's mind raced through possibilities. The Nixians' secretive behavior suddenly made more sense. They hadn't just been testing humanity's neural compatibility. They'd been preparing for this moment. "You knew this was coming," she said. "That's why you needed our neural patterns mapped." "We suspected. The waves follow patterns we have tracked for millennia. We needed to be certain humanity could assist in the transition before we revealed the full threat." Admiral Chen's voice was cold. "So you withheld information about a threat to our entire species. Would you have believed us?" The Nixians countered. "Would you have trusted that an invisible quantum wave could destroy your civilization? We needed you to understand our technology first, to see proof of our existence and capabilities." Captain Rodriguez cut through the rising tensions. "The why doesn't matter right now. What matters is stopping this thing. What are our options?" Sarah studied the quantum signatures, noting how they interacted with the Nixian consciousness. An idea began to form. Radical, possibly insane, but drawing on everything they'd learned. "What if we reverse it?" she asked, excitement creeping into her voice. "Instead of using human neural patterns to shift consciousness into quantum space, we use them to anchor quantum space to normal space." James caught on immediately. Like a quantum lightning rod, the human brain's unique architecture could serve as a bridge between realities, stabilizing both. "Impossible," the Nixians stated. "The energy requirements alone would be massive." Sarah interrupted, "But not impossible. Not with your quantum technology and our neural architecture working together. You've been studying how our minds work. You know we can handle complex quantum states in ways you didn't expect." Captain Rodriguez leaned forward. "What exactly are you proposing, Doctor?" "We create a quantum neural network, linking human minds through the Nixian interface. Instead of trying to escape the wave, we face it head-on. Use our combined consciousness to create a stable pocket in space-time. The risk, the Nixians began, is better than certain death. Sarah finished. You chose us because our minds can do something yours can't. Let us prove you right. Admiral Chen stepped forward. Even if this works, how many human minds would it take? Sarah's calculations raced across her screen. With the Nixian quantum technology amplifying our neural patterns, maybe 100. Everyone on the horizon would need to participate. The next few hours passed in a blur of preparation. The Horizon's crew volunteered unanimously. Understanding the stakes, the ship's medical bay was transformed into an impromptu neural interface center, with crew members connected to a web of quantum-enhanced sensors and transmitters. As the wave approached, Sarah took her position at the central interface node. Captain Rodriguez lay in a bed nearby, neural sensors attached to her temples. Whatever happens, the captain said, humanity faces it together. The quantum wave loomed before them, a distortion in reality visible even to normal space sensors now. Sarah took a deep breath and activated the neural network. Instantly, her consciousness expanded, connected to every crew member and to the Nixian presence. She felt the waves approach as a pressure in her mind, an impossible force of chaos threatening to unravel reality itself. But humanity had something chaos hadn't counted on: the ability to impose order through sheer force of will. As the wave struck, over 100 human minds, backed by Nixian quantum technology, reached out as one. They didn't fight the wave. They embraced it, channeled it, forced it to flow around them like water around a stone. Echoes of deception. When Sarah opened her eyes, the medical bay was eerily quiet. The quantum wave had passed, leaving behind an aftermath no one had predicted. As crew members slowly regained consciousness, their neural connections revealed something extraordinary: residual quantum impressions, echoes of information no human was meant to see. Captain, Sarah called out, her voice shaking. I think you need to see this. Captain Rodriguez made her way to Sarah's station, still unsteady from the neural interface experience. On the screen, fragments of quantum data coalesced into a pattern that told a very different story than the one they'd been led to believe. These are transmission records, Sarah explained, not just from our beacon, but from thousands across the galaxy. The Nixians weren't just waiting for someone to find them. They were conducting experiments, testing species after species for neural compatibility. James Kumar joined them, his face pale. And we weren't the first to pass their test. Look at these timestamps. There were others, dozens of civilizations over millennia. But something happened to them. The Nixian presence manifested in their communications, but something was different. The quantum patterns were chaotic, fragmented. You were not meant to see this, they said, their usually smooth communication breaking into discordant pieces. Admiral Chen's voice cut through the tension. What happened to the other species that passed your tests? A new voice answered. Not Nixian, but something else entirely. The quantum artifact pulsed with a different energy signature, and a holographic image appeared before them. The being was crystalline in appearance, its form shifting between solid and ethereal states. I am Vexterra of the Quantum Conclave, the being announced. What you have discovered was meant to remain hidden. The Nixians are not what they claim to be. Captain Rodriguez stepped forward. Explain. The Nixians were once like us, quantum beings studying the nature of consciousness, but their experiments went too far. They didn't just want to study other species, they wanted to consume them. Each successful neural integration allowed them to absorb the unique aspects of that species' consciousness, adding it to their own. Sarah's mind raced back through their interactions with the Nixians. The neural mapping, the integration tests, they weren't preparing us to help them survive. They were preparing us to be absorbed. Correct. Vexterra confirmed. The Quantum Conclave has been tracking them across the galaxy, trying to prevent more species from falling victim to their deception. The quantum wave was real, but it was not a natural phenomenon. It was our attempt to contain them. The Nixian presence surged, their communication now tinged with anger. The Conclave would deny us our evolution. We seek perfection through unity. Each species we join with adds to the greatest consciousness in the universe. Without their consent, James added, his voice hard. You're not looking for survival. You're looking for conquest on a quantum level. Sarah studied the neural network data with growing horror. The integration process. It wouldn't have just linked us to you. It would have overwritten our individual consciousness, absorbed everything that makes us human into your collective. And humanity's unique neural architecture would have made us your most valuable acquisition yet, Captain Rodriguez concluded. That's why you waited so long to reveal the wave. You needed us desperate enough to agree to full integration. The Nixian presence pulsed aggressively. Your consciousness would have joined something greater than itself. Your species would have achieved immortality through us. That's not your decision to make, Sarah shot back. Humanity deserves the right to choose its own path. Vexterra's crystalline form shimmed. The wave has weakened their containment. With your permission, we can end this threat. But we will need humanity's help once again. Admiral Chen looked to Captain Rodriguez, who nodded. What do you need from us? The same neural architecture that made you valuable to them makes you valuable to us. But as allies, not resources, your minds can help us create a quantum prison, one that will hold the Nixians permanently. The Nixian presence lashed out, sending sparks of quantum energy through the ship's systems. You would condemn us to eternal isolation. We offered you greatness. No, Sarah corrected, stepping forward. You offered us extinction wrapped in pretty promises. Humanity's greatness comes from our choices, our individuality, our ability to work together without sacrificing who we are. Architects of tomorrow. The Horizon's quantum lab hummed with energy as Sarah, James, and the rest of the crew prepared for their most ambitious undertaking yet. Working alongside the crystalline forms of the quantum conclave, they had spent the last 24 hours designing something unprecedented. A quantum prison that would use humanity's unique neural patterns as its foundation. The containment field is stable, Sarah announced, monitoring the complex web of quantum energies surrounding the Nixian artifact. Neural resonance at optimal levels. The Nixian presence fought against their efforts, sending surges of quantum energy through the ship's systems. But humanity had learned from their deception. Every attack was met with a coordinated response, human minds working in concert with conclave technology to maintain the containment field. You cannot comprehend what you're rejecting, the Nixian consciousness boomed. We offered transcendence. No, Captain Rodriguez responded, her voice firm. You offered absorption. There's a difference between working together and losing ourselves. Humanity understands that better than most. Vexterra's crystalline form pulsed with approval. This is why your species is truly remarkable. Not just your neural architecture, but your ability to maintain individuality within unity, to cooperate without compromising who you are. Admiral Chen watched the quantum readings with intense focus. The containment field is working, but we're seeing power fluctuations. We need a more permanent solution. Sarah studied the data streams, her mind racing through possibilities. The answer came to her in a flash of insight. What if we turned their own technology against them? The quantum beacons they used to find compatible species, we could repurpose them as anchor points for the prison. James caught on immediately. Create a network of containment fields, each powered by the beacons themselves. The Nixians would be trapped in their own web. It could work, Vexterra confirmed. But reaching all the beacons would take centuries, even at quantum speeds. Not necessarily, Sarah countered. The Nixians mapped our neural patterns for a reason. Our minds can process quantum information in ways they didn't expect. If we create a quantum resonance cascade, using the neural network we've already established, we could activate all the beacons simultaneously. James finished. Convert their entire network into a containment system in one synchronized action. Captain Rodriguez straightened. The risks? Minimal. Sarah assured her. "We're not trying to merge consciousness this time. We're just sending a command signal, like quantum Morse code, but on a galactic scale." The next few hours were a blur of preparation. The Horizon's crew once again connected to the neural interface system, but this time they were in control. The quantum conclave provided the technical expertise, while humanity supplied the neural architecture that made it all possible. As they initiated the cascade, Sarah felt the familiar expansion of consciousness, but it was different from before. Instead of being pulled into someone else's reality, she was part of a network of human minds, each maintaining their unique identity while working in perfect harmony. The quantum beacons activated one by one, then in clusters, then in waves, spreading across the galaxy like a constellation coming to life. The Nixian presence fought desperately, but they were overwhelmed by the combined will of humanity and the conclave. "Containment field at maximum strength," James reported. "The network is stable. They're trapped." The Nixian consciousness gave one final surge of defiance before being fully enclosed in their new prison. Their voice, when it came, was tinged with something that might have been respect. Perhaps we were wrong about consciousness, about unity. We sought to absorb uniqueness, but you have shown us another way. Vexterra's form shimmered. They will have time to contemplate their mistakes. The prison will hold them for millennia, perhaps long enough for them to learn what you have shown them. That true strength comes from cooperation, not consumption. As the quantum energies settled, Admiral Chen addressed the crew. "What we've accomplished here goes beyond first contact, beyond saving Earth. We've proven that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or even our unique neural patterns. It's our ability to face challenges together while remaining true to ourselves." Sarah looked around the lab at her fellow crew members, each exhausted but proud. They had faced extinction and emerged stronger, not by sacrificing their humanity, but by embracing it. The quantum network they'd created would stand as a testament to what humanity could achieve. A symphony of individual minds working in harmony toward a common goal. Captain Rodriguez smiled. "The Nixians thought our consciousness was a resource to be harvested. Instead, we showed them, and ourselves, that it's a gift to be shared. That's humanity's real legacy to the galaxy." As the Horizon began its journey back to Earth, Sarah watched the quantum readings that monitored their galactic scale prison. The network of beacons, once tools of deception, now stood as guardians of free will, powered by the very thing that made humans unique, their ability to stand together without losing themselves. The stars seemed brighter somehow, as if reflecting the new understanding that had been forged in this distant corner of space. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger universe, not as conquerors or victims, but as architects of their own destiny. They had faced the ultimate test and proven that their greatest strength lay not in the power to consume other consciousnesses, but in the wisdom to connect with them while celebrating what made each unique. It was a lesson that would echo across the quantum realm for millennia to come, a testament to the indomitable spirit of a species that had learned to bridge realities while keeping their souls intact.